Hello and welcome. If you are looking for some type of sign or confirmation about that big leap that you're about to take, or about the feelings that you're feeling, saying that you deserve better or that changes need to be made, this is your reading. This is the reading where we're going to ask the universe, spirit, God, goddess to give us a very clear and concise answer about what it is we need to do to make that next big step, to know what it is that we need to move forward to change our life to what we know we can make it to be. As always, let's start with, finding out what's holding us back from making this change. Because I am always solution focused, but it's also important to understand what all the players are looking into this. If we are knowing it is important for us to make a change, but we can't find the right reason or the right understanding, if we're waiting for a permission slip, what is keeping us from hearing our truth, our own inner voice, our own knowing? So let's get to that. Let's figure that out. All right, so we're looking for signs. We're wanting that permission slip. We're wanting for it to be written so clearly in the stars that we don't have a doubt. Truth is, you can ask for all the signs in the world. Unless you are willing to say, okay, I'm gonna do it, it doesn't matter how many signs you're gonna get. You just need to accept at some point, you need to jump. You need to take that leap. You need to listen to you and your higher self and realize, oh, I'm not happy. Things aren't great for me. Leads to the happiness card. Oh my goodness. Okay. So happiness is a state of mind. Yes. Now I don't mean that in the sense of oh, please just be happy. No. What I'm getting at here is happiness is something that you have to develop. It is something that you need to work on. So clearly here, we have flowers, and then we see that the nervous system is our roots. This is showing how interconnected everything is. And just like how this is a garden, you need to weed out those negative thoughts, those, thoughts of incompetence, those thoughts of it's too scary. You need to realize that right now, by staying in this position that you're in, by letting the weeds crowd over everything because, oh my goodness, there might be flowers on the other side, you're the one that's keeping yourself captivated in this. So happiness is a state of mind that you need to cultivate, that you need to work through. And if right now you're struggling to make that step, to make that change that we need to make, it's because you are letting those negative thoughts take over and you aren't letting yourself believe in something other than your own circumstances. Glow up. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I love how we get happiness with all the flowers here, and then we get glow up and we have a beautiful sun. And literally, again, this is that same reminder that you have to do the thing in order to help make yourself, into the version of you want to be. Now, glow up is a bit different than grow up. Glow up is more like self-care, giving yourself the permission to take a shower, put makeup on, wear something nice. It's allowing yourself the chance just to feel confident, because what this is telling me right now is you have it within you to do it. You just need to put on the right clothes, the right armor. You need to listen to the right music. You need to, whatever it is that gets you to, just put a little pep in your step. That's what you need. You know how to weed this garden. You know how to cultivate the state of mind. You know how to trust your inner instincts. It's just a matter of doing it. And daydream. All right. So here we are. We're being called out. And yeah, you keep daydreaming about what it is that you want. You keep thinking about it and you keep saying that, what if this would be nice? I'd love to see this. But it's a matter of you willingly doing the things. You have all that you need. And that's actually a part of the problem. You have everything you need. It's just you who wants to have something handed to you on a silver platter, but that's unfortunately not how life works. You need to start taking the steps, need to start making the changes. Start saying, what if things just get worse, and start believing that things can get better. Stop letting those weeds choke out your happiness. And let yourself focus on the happiness. Let's ask the tarot cards. It's not that I want the tarot cards to tell me what the weeds are. I can figure that out pretty easily. I want the tarot cards to help us understand maybe if there was a certain situation or an event that happened that has kept us in this like lock-free state that we're finding ourselves in. Because honestly, what I'm gathering is this is more of a, oh, there's a few, okay. No, just these two. This is a free state that you're in. And what I mean by free state, I mean you're not flying, you're not fleeing, you're not, fighting, you're just freezing. You're just staying still. Because staying still is easier than fighting or fleeing. And it happens. I get it. I've been there myself. I tend to freeze too. But freezing's not going to help us get to what it is that we want. And here's the thing. If you need to fight, you have the skills to fight. If you need to flee, you have the skills to flee. So whichever you choose to do, you have the skills. You don't need more. You just need to believe and do. All right, so Two of Wands in its reverse position. So that tells me that you've already started the planning. Because Two of Wands, this is all about your actions and desires and drive. And when I see the Two of Wands in its reverse position, I know that you started planning. You just decided it's not going to work. It's like planning a trip down to Florida and being like, okay, we're going to, have everything packed in the car by 5 a.m. And then we are going to start driving down. We should get there around, 10 p.m., depending on where you are in the States. And then, we'll stop here and here along the way. And then you have everything packed, you have everything ready to go, and then just boop, nope, it's not going to work. We're not going to do it. We're not going to follow through. The plan's busted. Literally what this Two of Wands is telling me. That's how you believe. That's not necessarily truth. Page of Swords. Okay, so whatever that realization is that has got you to say, hey, I deserve better, I want better. This is new. I get that, okay? This isn't something that you've been cultivating for months. This is a realization that has hit you and you're just like, oh snap, okay, I really can't keep going at it this way. This isn't gonna work for me anymore. This is it. This is the point where I need to make the change or else something bad's gonna happen. And I don't mean something bad's gonna happen like the cards are telling me that. I'm you already know what the bad thing is. This isn't me telling you something bad's gonna happen. You are the one that knows what the bad thing is. So when I have the Page of Swords here, I see that right now you're really being challenged to see things from a fresh, new perspective. Because Swords is all about that air element. It's about your intellect, and it's about you seeing everything from an analytical point of view and realizing, oh, snap, okay, this is something I really need to pay attention to, and I need to figure out how to take in this new piece of information because it's important. And it is important. I'm going to put it in there. The World in its reverse position. All right. So not only is this something that needs to have a closed chapter, not only is it something where you're this isn't sustainable, not only is this something where this will be a lifetime decision that's going to benefit you, you're closing a chapter and opening a new chapter, you know it, and you are just nope, 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 nope. The answer is no, no, no. Pushing the brakes, holding the brakes. Holding the brakes as long as we can, because if we hold the brakes, then we don't have to go down that roller coaster hill. It's 100% what's going on here. The World in its reverse position tells me that you know everything, you know how to do everything you need. There isn't much more you need other than to do the thing. To trust your gut and do the thing. The World is already saying that you have everything, that you know the lessons, you've learned the lesson. So why are you just trying to stand still as you're getting closer and closer to the end of this chapter? Release whatever you think is important about whatever is keeping you in the spot and let yourself go. Let yourself fly. You will fly. And you're well, what if I hit rock bottom? You know what? My rock bottoms have given me more growth and given me more answer and given me more knowledge than any of the cells I've put myself in, prison cells I put myself in because it was needed or necessary. And it sucked. I'm not gonna lie. It freaking sucked sometimes. But you know what? I'm here now, so clearly it did something for me. Five of Wands, and it's not even reversed. So this is telling me that, like, yeah, you know things need to change. Obviously, we're getting there. Like, that is obvious. But you've also been trying to make things change. You just can't stay consistent in what it is that you're doing. And I don't mean this in a mean way. I don't mean to just say that you're, I'm not calling you lazy or anything like that. You aren't focused. You're not prioritizing what's important. And staying focused can be extremely difficult when life keeps throwing you curveballs. Like, I mean, look at this. Like, there is just things coming at you from each angle. What's important? What do you prioritize? What is it that you need to do? I get it. Okay? Five of Wands is very loud, very active, very fiery, because this is the fire suit. But when I see the Five of Wands, you really need to take that first step back. Take that first step back and see what can be put on the back burner. What can wait till tomorrow and what absolutely needs to be done today. When I get the Five of Wands, you're in the midst of change. I get it. But we need to prioritize what's important. We need to stay focused. And we need to let others do what others can if we can't anymore. Oh, the Three of Coins. So we are working on something and we're hoping to get recognized for something. But here's the thing. Everything here tells me that whether or not your work is amazing, there's going to be a blind eye. You're not going to find it that, the people who should be, promoting you, the people who should be giving you more money, the raise that you deserve, I don't see them giving you any of that in the state that you're in. And I don't think you can do anything extra to get it, to be honest. Because the Three of Coins, also Pentacles, is about others seeing your hard work, but he's working alone in this card. He's got two other pentacles. He's just doing his craft. He's just doing his thing. And the thing is, if he was to probably go to another workshop, his craft would be probably recognized, and his amazingness would be, something better, where he's not just working with basic tools, but he's working with real good tools, and he's got a great place to be. But if you're gonna stay in the environment that you're in and keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting things to change, expecting things to get different, it's not gonna happen in where you are now. You do need to make the difference. You do need to spend the time and the energy to make the shift. Now we're going to ask the cards, what is it that can help us, let go of that brake pedal? What is it that can help us, just, get in the car and start that trip? What is it that can help us just trust in the decision that we've already made and get us to just go, to take that jump, to do that initial leap? Oh, that's actually a decent amount of cards. Okay. It felt like one, but it's definitely four. Magnetism. Okay. So this is a reminder that you already have it within you to get that what you're looking for. Okay? You're magnetic. It's not something that you have to go searching for. It's not something that's going to, take forever. Like you're not gonna have to go on an in-depth treasure hunt. You're not gonna have to jump through hoops. You just really got to ask for it. You got to look. You got to, just go to whatever it is to make the change, and it's going to be there. Just say, I'm going to make the change. Start doing things to make that change, and then everything's just going to show up for you. But it starts with you having to do the things that help you get to make that change. You can't just say it. You have to start doing it, and then everything's going to come to you. Renewal. So maybe you do need to take some time for yourself. Maybe you do need to give yourself a chance to have a bubble bath. And, I actually said that with happiness, how you needed to weed that garden. The part of that is self-care. Self-care is very renewal of energy, and it gives you the chance to just lean into, who you are at the basics again. Get back to that. Let yourself have a chance to just be renewed and feel fulfilled, and allow yourself to also give yourself the ability to, renew your circumstances. Whether that means getting a new job, ending a relationship, moving, whatever it is, give yourself that chance to, be revitalized. Specialization. So this tells me that you have, sorry, in my head it went, you have a particular set of skills, and I like thought of Taken, and I was like, okay. And maybe that's a message from Spirit, because that's, you know, one of those things that literally just popped in. But, you know, you have skills, you have abilities, you have the ability to create and do something that only you know how to do. And there's people out there looking for it, okay? If you're specialized in something, you're gonna be needed. I don't know anyone who has a specialization that is useless. It may seem useless to some people because they're like, I can't see how it would apply, but I promise you there are the most niche jobs out there that need the most randomly niche information, and there's always someone to fulfill the position. And I feel like you have niche information, and you have the ability to fulfill that position. Ooh, heat. Okay, so this kind of feels ironic that we're getting heat when, like, our only fire card from the tarot is Wands, and it's the Five of Wands. But I want to point out too, so I don't really know what this bird is. I just call it a phoenix because I like the idea that it's a phoenix, and phoenixes are all about fire. And then I've got the sun here, like the glow up. So heat here, whenever I've gotten this card, it's always reminded me of a heating pad. And I mean that in the sense of, like, when I lean into like a heat of a heating pad, it just feels so comforting and so warm. And when I'm in that relaxed state, I just kind of melt. And then when I melt, I can feel myself feeling and thinking in ways where I'm like, okay, what can I do next? What can I do next with what I have? And then sometimes I get that spark of creation, and I get that excitement, and I get that joy. Other times I realize, oh, I just need rest. Like, there's something about heat that literally just gives you the ability to, you know, find clarity in ways. Sometimes it's the fact that you're under so much stress and so much pressure and you can't take any more heat, and you realize that you've had enough and that you need that change. Sometimes it's just hot tea. Sometimes it's you drinking something and you're just like, you know what? Not my problem. I'm not doing with it anymore. As I'm getting this like heat feeling and sensation though, I really feel like it's about you sinking into like a hot bubble bath and just letting go with the fears, letting go with the doubts, letting go of the expectation that something is going to come in and just be like, ta-da, we're here. You do need to do the work, but you also need to, like I said, take care of yourself. You need to give yourself permission to put whatever armor you on so that way you can do the thing that you need to do, because where you are now isn't going to get you anywhere. You need to start doing things so you can get that magnetism. The universe responds with action. It does not respond to words, it responds to action. So we're just going to pull some type of affirmation cards and help us understand what it is that we need to, just what action we need. You know what? That card I was calling out, and so is this one. What action we need. Oh, we got a flippy. And what it is that we need in order to find the happiness, to get us just to take that initial leap, that jump. What is it? What is the heating pad that we need to actively fall into and get us to where we need to be? So here we have mindfulness. Stay present and aware in the moment. That is huge, because I talked about the glow up and about you needing self-care. I talked about weeding the garden. And mindfulness is the thing that gives us the best clarity and the best understanding of what it is that is keeping us where we are. And it's a reminder too that like all you have now is the present. You have this moment, this exact moment is all you can control. Not the future, not the past, this exact moment. And when you're in that mindfulness state, when you're in a reflective state like that, and you're just aware of the present moment, it just drops a lot of stress and worry, and it puts you in a place of like, okay, I have some control again of this, just this moment. Forgiveness. Forgive yourself and others to free your heart. All right, so I always see, and whenever I get forgiveness, it's about self-forgiveness first, which is the hardest thing to do, to be honest. Forgiving ourselves for letting ourselves get put in the situations that we're in, for letting ourselves be put in situations where we're unhappy and we don't know how to get out of it, kind of feels like a betrayal of self a lot of times, and it's not. Forgiveness of self is you saying, you know what, I understand that what I'm going through and how I got myself here just really sucks, to be honest. It freaking sucks. But even though I knew that these weren't the best decisions for me to make, they were the best I could make at the time. And you know what? I see things from hindsight now. I'm going to give myself grace and I'm going to forgive myself. Because forgiving yourself, for me, was the most healing and hardest thing I had to do. But once I did it, I was able to find peace. And then we have trust. Ooh, scoot you up. Trust the process and your journey. So this is one of those where, again, it's kind of about having faith. And trust is not easy when you have to do something blindly, especially when your trust has been broken over and over again. But it's one of those things where you also have to trust yourself. And you have to trust that the actions that you're doing are correct for you and that you are doing the things that are right for you. And then as you keep doing the actions, as you keep doing the trusting of yourself, universe will respond in kind. But again, it starts with the action. Yeah. Now we get the growth card. Growth. Focus on personal and spiritual growth. So this really is just saying that you need to focus on yourself. I mean, it's a sunflower. Sunflowers are solitary in the sense of, like, they literally have one stalk and they have one beautiful flower. I don't know that it's not possible, but I've never personally seen a sunflower where it's one stalk with two flowers on it. I've always just seen one and one. And so, like, this is that beautiful reminder that yes, you can stand tall, you can be proud, and you're allowed to be you, but you need to let yourself focus on yourself. Stop worrying about everybody else and everything else. Focus on you and what is yours. Focus on you and your family, or just you if, you know, the family's not important, like if you don't have kids and animals. Focus on you, because you and your growth are what are important in this moment. So if you have questions or you're unsure of how it is that you need to just trust the process and, like, weed out the gardens, go ahead and ask your questions in the comments below. There is a community. We can help each other. I'll answer your questions personally. And, you know, if you want more information, if you feel like you want more specifics about how it is that you can let go of the brakes and just go, or if you're not sure what to focus on, there is a link in the description for a private reading. Hit me up for a private reading. This is your reading for today. I thank you so much for staying till the end of the reading, and I can't wait to see you again. Bye-bye.